What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here with Vanguard Vlogs with another deck profile. Today we'll be going over my Genesis deck. I do also run Minerva. I know me and Justin are putting up a couple of these in tandem videos because, you know, both of us built these kind of decks. So I'll just go ahead and start with the starter. I use Vivid Rabbit. It's the basic grade 3 searcher. You just counterblast one, put it into the soul, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, search one grade 3 or greater Genesis among them, reveal them to your opponent, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. I really like this in the deck because it's essentially soul charge for one counterblast. And when you're running the a cross break ride, you really want to make sure you have the you know, both grade 3s in your hand at a decent time. This is really good to help that. I actually only have 2 Minervas right now, so this is actually really handy for me actually getting my Minerva off. The other 2 are in the mail. Just didn't pull enough during the case or the carton, and they've been pretty hard to get a hold of. So yeah, move on to triggers. Now for triggers, I run 4 heal triggers, just because, you know, it's stupid not to run 4 heal triggers. And the rest, I'm running all crit in this deck. With Genesis, you soul charge so much, it's really hard to kind of rely on triggers, because without a doubt, every time I soul charge, the top card of my deck is always the trigger. So with this deck, I decided, since I'm soul charging so much and kind of hamstringing my trigger ability, I just want as many critical hits to go off as Minerva restands herself. So run 12 crits. To me, draw in Genesis is a liability, because if you're not careful and you just soul charge Wimbly Bimbly, you are going to deck yourself. So I don't like running draw. Stand triggers are alright, but there's really no amazing rear guards to stand in this deck. So I just went 12 crit. The trial deck gave them 12 crit, so I'm running that now, and it's working pretty good. Moving on to grade 1s. So I run 4 perfect guards. Not into the quintet wall just yet, so I'm sticking with just normal perfect guards. I actually run 4 Existence Angel. Now I know a lot of people are running the Witch of Cats that lets you soul charge when you call her. And I believe it's Witch of Oranges, which if she's from the soul to the drop, you soul charge too. I like Existence Angel because if you, so you ride to grade 1, call back your Forerunner, you take a damage, search for a grade 3, call her, and you boost. It's early enough in the game and you're guaranteed almost to get a soul charge. Her effect is whenever whenever an attack hits a Vanguard during the battle that she boosted, you soul charge 1. I really like that effect. You can also do it to different rear guards. If you're boosting your other columns, you can hit Vanguards and soul charge. I really like Existence Angel. She's not as every time you play her, you soul charge consistent, but I still manage to soul charge probably 2 to 3 times off her every game, and I just really like the card. Yeah, not a lot of people run here, but I'm a big fan. And I run 3 Witch of Frogs, Melissa. Yeah, the sun's kind of setting. We're not shooting earlier, but can't remember how he died. Anyway, Witch of Frogs, Melissa. You counterblast 1. When this card is put into the drop zone from the soul, if you have a Genesis Vanguard, you may pay the cost. You do call it to a rear guard. Super good with another grade 2 that I'll get to that has the same effect. And since it doesn't have to be to an open rear guard circle, you can actually get a 4th attack with these 2 in a column and push for game. Really cool. These cards are kind of hard to find. I only have 3. I probably would only run 3, but yeah, they're kind of difficult to get my hands on. And then my last grade 1 is going to be Ordain Owl. You choose a grade 3 card with Regalia in its name from the drop zone. Put them at the bottom of your deck. If you have a Genesis Vanguard, choose 1 grade 3 unit with Regalia in its card name, and that unit gets 5,000 for the turn. Got him at 3 now because he's only a 6k booster. This card's effect at first seems kind of underwhelming, but it's actually really amazing. He's a free trigger's worth of power to Minerva, so you're going to be swinging for 18k before trigger checks and before standing again. Standing again, assuming you got no triggers, 23k. I've actually had it to where, using his effect, I've not even given trigger power to Minerva, just effects, and still do a lot of work. He also has a great way of, if you have too many of the other grade 3s in your hand, because, you know, you really don't need more than 1 Minerva. She's not raging for him. When she's on the field, she's kind of paying rent. You can use your grade 3s for perfect guards. If you have him to soul blast him, he also keeps you from decking out as quick because you're putting cards back on the bottom of your deck. Really good card. I might bump this up to 4 and bump Existence Angel down to 3, but for right now I'm running 3, and I cannot say enough good stuff about this card. Moving on to the grade 2 lineup. So first off, we have the Witch of Ravens, Chamomile, whatever, the nice booty. Witch, as Justin refers to her as. So this is the same thing as the Witch of Frogs, Melissa. When it's put from the drop zone from the soul, you may counterblast 1 and call it to a rear guard. Super good because you can call over a column that's already attacked and go for a 4th attack. I really like this card. Currently I'm only running 3 just because the effect's good. And when I ran Cider, I used to intercept and guard the Cider, put her in the soul to potentially call her back out. But she's super solid at 3 copies. Just really like getting that extra attack and going for the win. I run 4 Witch of Grapes. I want to ride her every time, or I want to soul charge her. She's really, really good. The reason I don't run oranges is because I run 4 grapes. With that effect, it's really easy to go kind of balls to the wall and soul charge too much and really limit yourself late game. Because if your opponent sees you burning through, you know, say you soul blast 3 because you break ride. If you do 1 of her, 1 orange, I mean, you're soul charging another 4, but I mean, it just thins your deck out. Yeah, so I'm only running 4 of these. Their effect's super good. It is when this card's put in the drop zone from your soul. If you have a Genesis Vanguard, soul charge 2. Super good. Helps you restand Minerva a lot. But again, I only like... my thought with this deck is I want 4 cards with that effect. And since my grade 1s were already kind of fighting for space, I went ahead and just ran 4 of her, because the grade 2s for the Regalia right now are kind of meh. So 4 Witch of Graves, and then 4 Goddess of Trees, Jupiter. She's the 12k beater when you have a Regalia. I like that it's a 12k attacker. I don't like that it's a 12k attacker until you have Minerva. Kind of frustrating. I thought I'd be slick and go back and get Battle Sister Macaroon and try her, but she stipulates that you have to have a Battle Sister. So it's good. I mean, 12k beater is a 12k beater. Unfortunately, this doesn't become a 12k beater until the 3rd turn, so I find a lot of times this deck, I'm really just rocking my middle Vanguard column until I hit limit break, and then I can just kind of blow up from there. Grade 3s, we do have, of course, 4 Regalia of Wisdom Angelica, Limit Break 4, Soul Blast 3. When a Genesis rides this unit, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards, choose your Vanguard, and that unit gets plus 10,000 until the end of turn. And also, when she attacks, she soul charges 1 and gets 1,000. So she swings for 12, she helps soul charge, and her effect, when you break ride Minerva on her, or Mimi as I like to call her, it makes her effect not so steep. So Minerva, for those of you who don't know, which is probably nobody, you you counterblast 1, soul blast 3, choose 3 of your Genesis from your hand and discard them. At the end of battle, this unit attacked, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand it, and this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of turn. The ability can have it used for the rest of the turn, and it is, of course, a cross ride to the break ride. Cross break rides, super, super good. So part of the reason Minerva is so awesome is, unlike Descendant, who can only stand if he doesn't hit, he just stands as long as you can Soul Blast 3 and Counter Blast 1. Super awesome. She gets 5k for standing up. Using the Ordain Owl we were talking about earlier, you can easily get her really, really out of control. The biggest skill here is, well, first off, the Break Ride is great because you draw 2 cards, so you're only minusing 1 from Minerva's effect. But the biggest problem I've had with Minerva is if a game goes too long, I'll end up Soul Blasting my Cross Ride and putting myself at a disadvantage defensively. But she's super, super good. I got 2 Keeper Wisdom Medices in here just to kind of hold until my other 2 Minervas get here in the mail. I feel like she's better with Yatagarasu because, you know, you soul charge like crazy. But Minerva's super good. Mimi is the best. I really like her. I really like this deck. I like the options of playing things in and out of the soul. You know, with the Witch of Frogs and the Witch of Ravens, you can call another column. Just super, super good. It's a really fun deck. It's kind of, Minerva's the new Raging form in terms of this is the $40 card that came out of this set. I paid about $35 for my other 2 that are coming in the mail. Just waiting on those, and definitely going to be some Versus videos of that once I get them here. Probably do Minerva on Minerva. I know Justin built his a little bit differently than I built mine, and, you know, we'll go head to toe. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you got any suggestions or comments, feel free to leave them down there where those go. And thanks for watching Vanguard Vlogs. And look at that art. Even that owl's just like, damn girl, you fine as hell. And she's like, bitch, I know. Yeah, I guess that's the end. Maybe, yeah, the end. Bye.